Rock legend Ozzy Osbourne has died at 76, just weeks after his moving final live show. His passing sent shockwaves through the music world, closing a monumental chapter of rock history. Osbourne was not only the frontman of Black Sabbath, one of the founding bands of heavy metal, but he also became an enduring symbol of rebellion, eccentricity, and the chaotic beauty of rock and roll. For over 5 decades, he pushed boundaries musically, socially, and culturally, becoming an icon whose presence shaped the trajectory of rock like few others could. The Black Sabbath frontman had battled Parkinson's disease for years, a fight that he faced with characteristic grit and unfiltered honesty. Despite the challenges, he never let the disease strip away his spirit. Ozzy's final performance was nothing short of emotional, a deeply symbolic farewell, not just to the stage but to a life lived in the extreme. It was a moment that resonated, not only with longtime fans but with the entire rock community. A bittersweet goodbye to a man whose voice had defined generations. In a statement to Extra, the Crazy Train singer's bereaved family announced, "It is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love." Signed by his wife Sharon Osbourne and his children Jack, Kelly, Amy, and Louis, it went on, "We ask everyone to respect our family privacy at this time." The family's grief was palpable, echoing the sentiment of millions around the world who felt as though they had lost a friend. Osbourne's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame will immediately reflect his passing. Its producer told Extra, "Ozzy Osbourne was more than a rock legend, he was a cultural icon who reshaped music and defied expectations." His star on the Walk of Fame will now shine even brighter as fans from around the world come to honor his incredible legacy. He will be deeply missed. Tributes poured in from all corners of the globe. Fellow music icon Elton John was among the first to react on Instagram, posting, "So sad to hear the news of Ozzy Osbourne passing away. He was a dear friend and a huge trailblazer who secured his place in the pantheon of rock gods, a true legend. He was also one of the funniest people I've ever met. I will miss him dearly. To Sharon and the family, I send my condolences and love." The inimitable rocker gave his final live performance on July 5 at a Black Sabbath farewell gig in Birmingham, England. For many fans, it was a full-circle moment ending his journey in the city where it all began. The concert was both haunting and powerful, reminding everyone of the raw, magnetic energy that made Ozzy unforgettable. It came 22 years after he was first diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and 5 years after he publicly revealed his diagnosis. Osbourne, who said the disease was not a death sentence at the time, managed to remain optimistic for much of his later years. Yet, by February, his health had deteriorated to the point where he could no longer walk. He was born John Michael Osbourne on December 3, 1948, in Marston Green, Warwickshire, England, the son of a toolmaker and a factory worker. Ozzy's early years were marked by poverty, struggles in school, and brushes with the law. Music became his escape-away to transcend the limitations of his environment and channel his chaotic energy into something creative. He credited the Beatles as his earliest inspiration, often saying that hearing their song "She Loves You" changed his life forever. Ozzy was a co-founder of the immensely influential group, Black Sabbath, in 1968. The band didn't just play music, they created a new soundscape, dark, heavy, and menacing that would eventually define heavy metal. Alongside Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, Ozzy helped create a genre that gave voice to the disenchanted, the rebellious, and the misunderstood. Songs like Iron Man, War Pigs, and Paranoid became anthems for a generation. The group, and Osbourne in particular, frequently evoked satanic imagery, not necessarily out of personal belief, but more as a way to provoke, to challenge the norms, and to shock the establishment. Dubbed the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy infamously bit the head off a dove at a record company conference and the head off a dead bat at a concert in Des Moines, Iowa. He threw raw meat into the audience at shows, shot hens and cats at his English home, and even urinated on the Alamo in Texas, a moment that infamously got him banned from San Antonio for a decade. But Osbourne always maintained that the stage persona was just that, a persona. He told the New York Times at the height of his fame, "All the stuff on stage, the craziness, it's all just a role that I play, my work. I am not the Antichrist. I am a family man." It was a sentiment he often repeated, trying to bridge the chasm between the public perception of the wild man of rock and the private man who loved his wife, adored his children, and eventually even became a reality TV star in the show The Osbournes. Still, he admitted with his usual dark humor that his epitaph would likely read, Ozzy Osbourne, born 1948, died whenever he bit the head off a bat. That moment may have haunted his legacy in one sense, but it also cemented his place in the lore of rock history, a man who lived without apology and with unmatched theatricality. Osbourne's run with Black Sabbath was marked by monumental commercial success, even as he was plagued by alcohol and drug issues that often threatened to derail his career. He sang with them for 8 studio albums: Black Sabbath 1970, Paranoid 1970, Master of Reality 1971, Volume for 1972, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath 1973, Sabotage 1975, Technical Ecstasy 1976, and Never Say Die 1978. Each of these records left a lasting impact on the genre and influenced countless bands that followed. Eventually, his addictions and erratic behavior led to his departure from Black Sabbath in 1979. But far from ending his career, it marked the beginning of a wildly successful solo journey. With the help of his wife and manager Sharon, Ozzy launched a solo career that would not only revive his career but elevate his status to new heights. Albums like Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman featured legendary guitarist Randy Rhoads, and helped establish Ozzy as a solo powerhouse. Ozzy's solo catalog includes some of the most iconic tracks in rock, including Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, Bark at the Moon, and No More Tears. His music blended haunting melodies, blistering guitar solos, and that unmistakable voice, raw, emotional, and utterly distinctive. He continued touring for decades, amassing a fan base that spanned generations. From teenagers discovering him on streaming platforms to lifelong fans who had followed his journey since the 70s, Ozzy's appeal was timeless. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Black Sabbath in 2006, and throughout his career, he received numerous awards and accolades. Yet for all his achievements, Ozzy never lost his sense of humility. He often appeared shocked by his own fame, once remarking, "I'm just a guy from Birmingham who got lucky." In his personal life, Ozzy had many demons to wrestle with. His struggles with substance abuse were well documented, and he often spoke candidly about his attempts to get clean. His relationship with Sharon Osbourne was turbulent at times, marked by public disputes and painful episodes. But they remained together for over 40 years, a testament to their deep bond and mutual support. Sharon was more than just a wife. She was his rock, his manager, and his fiercest defender. In his final years, Ozzy became more introspective. His music took on a more reflective tone, and his interviews were often tinged with wisdom and sorrow. He spoke openly about mortality, legacy, and the things he regretted. Yet, even in the face of death, he maintained his sense of humor. He never stopped being real, and unfiltered. As fans mourn his passing, many are revisiting his vast body of work, discovering or rediscovering the genius that was Ozzy Osbourne. He leaves behind not only a family that adored him and a fanbase that worshipped him, but also a legacy that will continue to influence music for generations, too. Ozzy Osbourne lived loudly, unapologetically, and passionately. His story is one of transformation from a troubled youth in Birmingham to a godfather of heavy metal. From a self-destructive icon to a beloved patriarch. His death marks the end of an era, but his voice, his music, and his legend will live on. He may have left this world, but the Prince of Darkness will forever reign in the kingdom of rock. Rest in peace. Ozzy, your crazy train ride may be over, but the tracks you laid will echo forever.